Yeah, pray everybody's well today, this evening, tonight, wherever you are, that everybody's blessed and staying safe. I'm not anticipating being on long. I just wanted to share some thoughts and update slash dash FYI. Um, and I appreciate y'all coming to check me out on this brief, uh, unapologetic thought talk. So I was having some dinner and studying, and I noticed that um, a couple, children of Yasharal, um, I don't know if they were, I'm not sure if they were believers, but I'm saying, you know, melanated couple, um, came and sat behind me. And, I had my headphones on, and that's part of what I'm, just gonna update y'all with in a little bit as well. But as I'm trying to study, um, I could still hear some of their conversation, even though, my I was listening um, through my headphones, but they were talking a little loudly and animatedly. Um, but they were talking about some things I just assumed based on the conversation um, that they might have been on a date. And I don't believe they were, a married couple. They didn't give me that impression based on, like I said, some of the conversation I was hearing. And so I noticed that the and this is the other reason why I really thought it might have been on a date, was because of the um extraness, for lack of a better term. You know how it was, when you were dating somebody, I'm talking about the set apart believers, when we were um in that life, and we were trying to make a good impression and things of that nature. So I just felt like, I think they might be on a date, because it, the scents, the perfume and the cologne, it was like I'm getting blown out here, but by every wind that went by as they, that caught it as they were going by. And I'm like, um, but just trying to make that good impression, and I'm like, okay, so I'm feeling like this is a date. And of course, like I said, some of the mode of conversation, questions, I can hear questions and answers, and I'm like, okay. Um, but what I noticed specifically, um, in reference to the daughter of Zion, because I didn't make any eye contact with the brother. I have no idea what he looked like per se, like I couldn't tell you what he looked like or any of that, because I don't move in that way anymore, Um, so I definitely can't tell you what he looked like, but I did take notice of the daughter of Zion, and I'm like, yeah, I just, seeing her took me back, to where, when you tried to make a good impression, with a guy, especially after a certain age, us women, um, maybe trying to really make a good impression for maybe that future um, lifelong mate. So I noticed that, the sister was between the perfume and, um, you know, the weave and whatnot. I noticed that she definitely was trying to make a good impression, and I also noticed, like, as she walked by, like, her jeans were so tight. I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm saying all this to say it took me back, because I realized, I'm like, wow, now that I'm not in doing those things, it's obvious, especially as a daughter of Zion, we don't have to pimp ourselves out. This is what prompted me to really do this live right now, because it was just, I could just feel that that need to want to impress, and again, it just took me back to that mode of how I used to want to, when I met a guy, I wanted to make a good impression, so he would stick around, and so these are the things that are part of the entrapment. You're trying to bait, hook the bait and reel him in, type of thing, to use a analogy, fishing analogy, but that's what essentially it was, and in seeing that, it's just like, wow, now that I'm not of that way, I see it so clear, and I'm just like, like, wow, Father, this, I'm just like, wow, we daughters of Zion, we don't have to do that, and it just goes back to us knowing our own self-worth and not letting someone else validate your self-worth, excuse me, because if he's going to stick around, he's going to stick around, if he has a roving eye, he's going to use that roving eye. So this is important as daughters of Zion, especially set apart. I would really hope and pray that we're not doing, what, the world is doing in our current present day. If we're truly set apart, there is a level and a standard that we should be trying to hit, that goal of that modesty and that respect, that level of respect for ourselves, and knowing we don't do like we used to do. So that is so important. So in just seeing this sister, it just made me want to speak on this, because again, this is a reminder, for y'all, for me, as a single daughter of Zion, that we don't have to move in those ways anymore. We are definitely, truly set apart. And the Most High Yah, He'll give us who He has for us. We don't have to push, we don't have to try to speed up the process. We just have to be comfortable with who we are. So I just wanted to share that brief story and that word to just encourage us as daughters of Zion to continue on and be strong. Be strong and keep it tight. Y'all know what I mean. And keep it right by keeping it tight. Okay? We don't have to do what the world does. We don't have to do what we used to do. Okay? being virtuous daughters of Zion. That's the key. And what I'm talking about is virtuosity or virtuousness. That's a better word. Moving in virtue, having a level of virtue. Knowing that we don't have to pimp ourselves out, and I don't mean any disrespect to that sister. I'm just going outsider looking in. These are the things that tend to give off that appearance, especially it could be to the brother, who knows what was in his mind when he got up, when she got up and walking, and because I know what was in mine, seeing her go past. I'm like, I know his eyes, but it is what it is, and prayerfully, this word gets received. But on another note, I also wanted to just briefly talk about a recent, and I'm trying to choose my words because, if we give out too much information, the enemy's, how the enemy does. But I just want to continue to encourage the body of believers, and there's some things that I'm working on, Yah willing, that will come to fruition soon, because there's things that definitely need to be clarified and Abba's word really come forth in this time. We know time is truly drawing nigh. There's literally days before 2025 of the Gregorian calendar comes through. And we have to continue to grow in Abba Yah as the set apart remnant, the set apart believers, the children of Yasharal and the wild branches that truly are walking in the way, the narrow path of the Most High Yah through HaMashiach. So we have to hunker down and really get what we need to get, understand what we need to understand. I truly believe we have to ask the right questions, because if we don't ask the right questions, we're not going to get the right answers. I really believe that. We got to be mindful of the questions that we ask, okay? Well, let me just say this. When I say we won't get the right answers, we may not get the specific answer based on that specific question, if that makes sense, y'all. So these things I'm working diligently, and as I grow in knowledge, I'm definitely, Yah willing, and as He permits, I'm going to relay it to y'all. But this is definitely in this time, at this juncture, this is definitely something that we have to grasp if we want to move forward and continue to go deeper in the Most High Yah. And more importantly, stop doing what we've been doing, following those ones that gave us the example. We doing the same thing that we were doing in Christianity. We're carrying over in this truth. And yeah. But on that note, y'all have a good evening, good night, grand rising if you're grand rising right about now. But I appreciate y'all coming through. All right. Unapologetic Truth Channel again with EriKiYah. Y'all be blessed. Love y'all.